Hi guys, welcome to the second lesson on what card to play in the third seat. Last week we talked about when your partner led low and the approach of playing your lowest, highest equal or your highest card in order to develop tricks. This week we're going to talk about when you do not want to do that in order to keep the declarer from developing extra tricks and to protect yourself. So let's get started. Okay, and we're calling this third hand hedging your bets. Okay, and partner has low, showing an honor, the ace, king, or queen. And generally, this is going to be from fourth from your a suit with 4+ cards, or third from a card suit with 3 cards. Okay, and what you're going to or they've led the second highest card from a suit which they have nothing in, so that you can actually determine which they are by looking at the cards in your hand and looking at the cards in dummy. Sometimes a little bit difficult, but a little bit of effort and logic, and you should be able to determine whether they're leading from an honor or whether they're not leading from the honor. Okay, and what you're going to then look at is the card played from the dummy and the remaining cards in the dummy to determine what you're going to do. Okay, and what you need to do is visualize what cards can be in the declarer's hand based upon the logic that you used to determine whether it was a development lead or a lead from nothing. Okay, so there are situations where you can play the 8, 9, or 10, sometimes the jack, to hedge your bets when you have a higher card in your hand. Okay, if you look at the cards in the dummy and look at the cards in your hand, you can look at the relationship of those cards and determine when you want to play the middle card rather than your highest to potentially develop a trick. Let's look at some specific situations in the relationship of the cards. In this particular example, your partner leads low. Okay, they led the 2. All right, now when they led the 2 in this particular case, because it is low, you know that they're leading from a suit that they have an honor in, the ace, king, or queen. All right, now you see the jack in the dummy. You have the queen 9 in your hand. Okay, the declarer plays the 4 instead of the jack. All right, and you go, well, wait a minute. I've got the queen over the jack. That's a really important part of the relationship. You have the queen is higher than the jack. You have the 9, a middle card. What card is missing? Okay, and the cards that are missing are the ace and the 10. Well, you can place the ace because you know it's not in dummy. And well, what cards are missing are actually the ace and the king. And now, because the ace and king are missing and your partner led low, you know that your partner is not going to lead away from the ace. Okay, so you can conclude that your partner has the king. So you can see how all these little pieces fit together. You led the 2, promising ace, king, queen. Okay, you've got the queen. You know it's not the ace because they would have led the ace or not led that suit because you generally do not lead away from the ace. Okay, so you know that your partner's the declarer now has the ace. And the question is, where's the 10? Okay, now, if we look at this, if the okay, you really have those 2 alternatives. Declare it has it or doesn't have it. If you play the queen, you're going to gain nothing in this situation. Now let's see why. Okay, you play the queen, the declare is going to play the ace. What have you just done? Look at the dummy. You just promoted the jack to a winner because the only time that you won is if you had the king queen, and if you had the king queen, your partner would not have led low. And the declarer is going to know this. Okay, they're going to use the same type of rules and logic and approach to analyzing the opening lead as you do. So if you play the queen, you're guaranteeing the declare is going to be able to take 2 tricks in this suit. Okay. And if you play the 9, you don't know whether it depends. How many tricks the declare is going to take depends on where the 10 is. If the declare has the 10, they're still going to take 2 tricks, and there's nothing that you can do about it because they're going to be able to take your queen potentially later. All right, because you've got the king, queen left, you're guaranteed 1 trick within the suit. But if the declare does not have the 10, your partner has the 10, you're going to be able to take 2 tricks within the suit. Now, the probabilities actually are, because you know your partner is led from 4 or more cards in the suit, there's actually a higher probability than the declarer has it, because you know the declarer only has 3 cards in that suit. So overall, you get a 50% chance of getting 2 tricks versus 100% chance of getting only 1 trick by playing the 9. So the correct card to play is the 9. Now let's just look at that once again. We've got the queen that covers the jack. We've got the 9. The question is, where is the 10? Now, if this was the 8, the question would still be the same. But the question would be, where's the 9 and the 10? It's possible that your partner could have it. Probabilities are lower, but it's still there. It's still the same logic. Let's look at this particular example. In this example, your partner plays the 7. And you look at your hand and you look at the dummy. You see the 2 and the 4, and you conclude, aha, my partner is leading from nothing. But because you know that just from that basic analysis that the 3, 6, and the 5 are out, and the probability that they're leading from a suit from nothing goes way up. You conclude they don't have the ace, king, or queen. So now you have to analyze what the declare has. So you know your partner doesn't have the ace, king, or queen. And you look at the dummy and see the king, jack, and you got the queen. Well, you pretty well know that the declare has the ace. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so you also know that your partner is leading the 2nd highest in that suit, because that's the lead convention that we're using. And you go, well, okay, you've got the 9. You can see the king, queen. You know the declare has the ace. There's the jack. You have the 9. Okay, and and you know your partner's got 1 higher. Ergo, it's either the 8 or the 10. All right. So in this particular case, it's the 8 or the 10. Okay, and declare has the ace. If you play the queen in this particular situation, okay, you're actually guaranteeing the declare is going to be able to take 3 tricks. See that they've got the ace, king, jack. You can know they have the ace, king, jack. So if you play the queen, the ace is going to take the trick, and they have 2 more guaranteed tricks within that suit. Okay, if you play the 9, okay, and your partner has the 8, they're still going to get 3 tricks. Well, actually, they're not going to get 3 tricks. Well, yes, they will, because they will actually still be able to finesse your queen. However, if your partner has the 10, and your partner has 10 and you play the 9, you're actually going to force out the ace. In this case, you're going to then be able to, you're guaranteed a heart, a trick with your queen, because the queen will be behind the king, jack. So this is the same type of structure that we saw on the previous example, but a little bit different, because you're actually playing the cards in a manner to protect your trick. rather than your trick or your partner's trick. Okay, and you're hoping that your partner has the 10. Okay, that cost you nothing in this situation to play the 9 because of the relationships of the cards. If your partner has the 10, you're going to be able to get win a trick with the queen. If your partner does not have the 10, they're going to get their 3 tricks, and as you can see, it costs you nothing. Okay. Versus a no trump card contract. Now, this is important. What you do depends on the situation. If it's a no trump contract, you may do one thing. If it's a suit contract, you may do another. Okay, in this particular example, it's a no trump contract, and partner has led low. So, if it's a no trump contract and your partner has led low, there's almost always is going to be a development lead. It's going to be fourth in that particular suit. Okay, and this one they led the 2. Okay, and because it's a development lead, you can conclude your partner only has 4 because they led the lowest possible card of 2, which we are going to equate to 4. Okay, so you can first of all determine how many cards each player has in the suit. You go 4, 3, 3. Therefore, the declarer has 3. Okay, now you also can conclude your partner has an honor, the ace, the king, or the queen. Okay, and you see that the ace, you do not have the king or the queen. So the honors are split between the declarer and the honor and the partner. Now you can also conclude from the lead of the fourth that your partner does not have the king or queen. Okay, that then says the declarer has 1 honor and you and your partner has 1 honor. Why? Can you make that conclusion? Because if your partner had the king queen, they would have led the king. Potentially the king. Okay. What does declarer have? Well, you can see the ace 10, jack 8 between the 2 hands. Partner has promised 4 with the king or the queen, and even potentially the king queen with 3 or 4 plus cards in that suit. Generally, 95% of the time, 4 plus cards. What's missing? The king or the queen and the 9. Okay, so there's 3 cards missing. You know your partner's got at least one of them. If partner has the 9, playing the 8 would force out the declarer's queen and keep your jack behind the 10. And that's really an important part. It keeps the jack behind the 10. If the declarer has the 9, it costs you nothing because you've still got your jack behind the 10. All right, so that's really important. Now, in this particular situation, you should play the 8. If you play the 8, they're going to take the 9. All right, it was unsuccessful. Okay, the 9 had been over and declares in your partner's hand. You would have been forced to play the queen, and now you would have been guaranteed to get at least 1 trick in the suit. If you played the jack, they can play the queen, okay, and win the trick, and then finesse the king with by leading towards the 10 and ducking with all 3 tricks. So in this case, you're going to play the 8. They would win the 9. Now they can still take the finesse. So you can see again, it costs you nothing. When you determine these situations where you play the intermediate card, okay, it generally has no cost associated with it, only positive benefits. Okay, and what it also does, it keeps which particular cards are a mystery. Maybe the declarer isn't the greatest player in the world and won't know to finesse your partner for the king. So, all right, let's take a look at another no trump example. In this one, partner has led low. They lead the 3. Okay, now note when they lead the 3, you're going to also assume this is 4. Okay, and that they potentially could have 5 because you're going to pay attention to where is the 2. Did somebody play the 2? Does the dummy have the 2? Do you have the 2? Okay, so if you pay attention to that and you play the 3 and it comes around, and we'll get to the reasons why you play the ace, and the declare doesn't play the 2, you're pretty well certain the partner started with 5. So that's the first piece of the detective challenge. Okay, now the 3 has been led, and so you conclude your partner is leading from 4 and maybe 5. Okay, you've got 4, and the dummy has 3. So we go 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 4 is 11. And if your partner has a 5th, okay, that would make 12 cards in the suit, and that would imply that your partner, that the declare has only 1. Okay, now you know also because they led low, and this is a development lead, that you have the ace, you can see the queen, therefore your partner has the king. All right, easy to conclude. So there's taking all these little pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in each hand, putting them together, and deducing what the status of the suit is in terms of who has how many cards and what they have. Okay, now you go, what does the declare have? Well, if partner has 5, the declare has only 1. Okay, if the partner has 4, declare has 2. So, and let's just assume there's a 50% probability of each one of these. And if there is, if we've got 5, if you don't play that ace, the declare is going to be able to trump your ace on the second trick. So you want to play the ace on the first trick. Okay, by playing the ace on the first trick, you already know that your partner has the king. So in either one of these situations, okay, if you've got 1, you play the ace, it wins. Okay, you don't lose anything because the next time you lead it back to your partner's king, it gets trumped. Okay, if they have 2, you take the ace, you lead it back, the player's second card in that suit gets played, and your partner wins the king. All right, so you can see again, this actually doesn't cost you anything. And if you did not play the ace, you give the declare a really, really cheap trick, okay, winning with their singleton 10 and never being able to get a trick with your ace or your king. That'd be pretty bad defensive play. So make sure you look at the cards, determine who's got what, and whether you should play your ace on the first trick. And generally, the rule I like to use is if I can count somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 or 11 more cards in a suit, I'm going to play my ace. If I can see it's down around 8 between what I think my partner has, what the dummy has, what I've got, I know that the declare is going to have at least 2, and I'm not necessarily going to play the ace on the first trick. All right, let's look at another situation. This is kind of a different situation. Okay, where we're not using the values of the cards to determine whether we should be playing something, but we're using a different set of logic. In this one, what we're going to do is we can determine that from a factual standpoint that we, excuse me, that we know where that the declare has missing cards. In this particular situation, we'll assume that this is a suit contract, and our partner has preempted in a suit, let's say spades, but chosen to lead the 2 of hearts. Okay, now because they're leading a card in a different suit, regardless of whether it's low or high, or low or middle. Okay, high would still be a development lead, but if low or middle, we would then assume that they're leading from a singleton. So because they preempted in a different suit and then led to 2, we're going to assume that that's a singleton. So we look at the cards and we see that the dummy has the queen, jack, 10, 8. We have the king, 9, 7. So if we look at these 2 hands in combination with one another, we see the king, the queen, the jack, the 10, 9, the 8, and 7. So we can play over And this is the case where we're in essence playing at our highest, lowest equal over whatever the dummy plays. So if they played the queen, we could play the king, all right? And we know that that would force out the ace because we're assuming our partner does not have the ace. And we go, well, wait a minute. If we play the we can now deduce that, that from this, if our partner has 1, there's 4, we've got 5, we can deduce that the declare has 3 cards in the suit. Okay, we can look at this and say, if we hold up playing the king, okay, the declare can only get 3 tricks in this suit. All right. So if we hold up continuously, they can only get 3 tricks in the suit. So let's take a look at that, for example. Okay, if they play the queen and we play the 7, the declare is going to play the 5. Then they can play the jack, and we're going to play the 4, and the declare is going to play the 6. Then if they play the 8, we're going to play we can play the 9 or the 3. It doesn't matter because we know per force the declare has only 1 left. It's going to have to play the ace. That way, we keep the declare from being able to get 4 tricks. All right, so that's really, really important. All right, let's take a look at another example. Partner leads trump, and you have a potential overruff later on. So, and by potential overruff, you have a doubleton, let's say 2 clubs, and dummy has 2 clubs, and the contract's in hearts. Okay, so you know if the dummy roughs, you can rough. So you look at your hand in this particular situation. You see the 9, 8, 5. You've got the jack, 3, 2. You want to keep that jack because it gives you the potential of overruffing the card, the highest card, trump card in dummy. All right, so that's now. Is that going to provide you a trick every time? No, they may just lead out the trump and 3 rounds of trump and take the trump and dummy and your hand, but it precludes them from then doing that. In essence, you're taking a protective. What you play is a protective action to keep the declare from having that alternative strategy available to them. So the 4 is probably from 2 or 3 low trump. Okay, because generally your partner is not going to want to finesse him or herself. Okay, and the dummy plays the 8. Now you could play your highest card, your jack, in this particular situation, but what that would do is make both of your remaining trump 3 and 2 lower than what the cards are that the dummy has, specifically the 9, but also the 5 in this case, and eliminate your ability to overruff if the declare tries to win, to lead the suit that you and dummy both have a doubleton in the 3rd time. So because you're pretty well guaranteed your partner is not leading from an honor, you can go ahead and save that jack. There's no value in playing the jack. Okay, what you're going to do is go ahead and play low and preserve the jack to prevent the declare from being able to use that 9 or 10 to rough in the suit that you both have a doubleton in. Okay, let's look at another example here. And in this one, it's a case when you believe that your partner is leading from a doubleton, or you know that it's a doubleton. Let's look at this particular situation. Okay, given the bidding, we had 1 no trump by pass 2 clubs, indicating Stayman, and 2 spades, and they agree on spades and they go to 4 spades. All right, you know that they've got at least a 4-4 fit in spades, and that your partner has chosen to lead the 9. Now you know that the 9 in this particular against the suit contract can have multiple meanings. It can be a coded 9 or 10. Okay, now if it's a coded 9 or 10, you would not be able to see the 10 in either your hand or dummy. So you look to your right and aha, there's the 10 in the dummy. You say, well, it's not a coded 9 or 10. What is it? Okay, you go, well, the dummy's got 4, I've got 4. What I'm going to assume is that 9 is either a singleton or a doubleton. Okay, because they've got a 4-4 fit in spades, the probability that it's a doubleton goes up significantly rather than a singleton. Otherwise, the declarer would have been your declarer would have been 2 hearts instead of 2 spades, showing they also had 4 hearts. Okay, because after Stayman, okay, if they have 4 hearts and 4 spades, they're going to bid the hearts first. So we can conclude, because the partner has led the 9, that it's a doubleton. Right? That's really, really important thing to be able to do. Okay, because you conclude that it's a doubleton, you know the declarer has 3. All right, so what are the potentials for taking tricks in this particular suit in hearts? Well, you should be able to always, if the declarer's got 3, you know you can take a heart trick on the first, second, or third trick because you see 4 in the dummy. Okay, now the other potential trick that is potentially available is if you can give your partner a rough. Okay, now the real question is being able to get control to be able to lead the third heart. So what you're going to want to do, because you believe your partner has a doubleton, in this case actually know your partner has a doubleton, okay, you're going to play low. And the low card is to give your partner encouragement. Just remember, we're going to talk about attitude, I think, next week. And we'll talk about how to signal your partner as to what you've got in that particular suit. All right, so you play the 2 on this, play the 3 on the second trick. Okay, and what you're going to do is, if you get in the lead again, you're going to lead the ace and then lead another heart to give your partner a rough. If your partner gets in the lead before all the trump have been led, he's going to return the 6 of hearts, completing the high-low echo, and you're going to take the trick and then lead the hearts again. So you can see that if you can determine if there's a high probability your partner leads from a doubleton, you're going to want to preserve the capability to win the second trick versus the first trick, so that you can then seize control, lead it a second time, and give your partner a rough. Okay, another time that you don't want to play your highest, okay, and this is kind of a difficult one to see at times, is that you need to kill an entry to the dummy. Okay, let's take a look at this example. Your partner leads 4. And so they led the 3. And so you're going to be able to conclude from this that your partner again has the king. You conclude this because, again, they would not have led the 3 from the ace, typically. That's probably 95% of the time. So it's some unusual times when that happens, but not very often. Okay, so you're concluding your partner has the king because you've got the queen. Okay, so and you're looking here at the dummy, and they've got another suit where they can take a bunch of tricks. Okay, and you want to make sure that you want to kill the capability of the declarer to be able to get to the dummy. So you want to guard against the dummy's ability to take a trick. So In this situation, you know the declarer has ace. You can see the jack 10 in the dummy. You know if you played the queen that the declarer is then going to be able to lead this suit again and either win the second or the third trick in dummy, allowing them to have communication to the dummy. Okay, protecting yourself doesn't always have to do with taking the trick. It sometimes has to do with being able to inhibit the communication by the declarer back and forth between the two hands. Okay, and it's easiest to protect against communication to the dummy because you can see the dummy. We're going to assume in this case that you do not want to allow the dummy, the declarer, to get back in the dummy. It may be able to take another finesse or do something else, or be able to take good tricks. So in this particular situation, because you determined that you don't want the declarer to be able to get back in the dummy, you're going to play the 7. Okay, and that way, that the declarer is going to get a really cheap trick and win it with the 8. Okay, now what is the declarer going to do now? Well, you have the king queen between you. Okay, in order to try to finesse this again, there's just no way they can ever set up communication to the dummy, because if they lead the suit again, your partner can play the king. The 10 will be played, you'll still have the queen behind it. So by playing the 7 on trick 1, you're guaranteed to have been killing the communication to the dummy in this particular suit. All right. Now we've got one more thing in terms of the probable doubleton. Okay, that your partner has led from a suit. It's a probable doubleton. Okay, and we're going to assume that your partner bid this suit. Okay, so they bid one of whatever this is. You bid whatever one this is, and your partner failed to raise you. Okay, and they lead back the 7. When they lead the 7, you can conclude almost with 100% assurance that this is either the singleton or doubleton. Okay, so and if it's a doubleton, you know that the declarer has 3 cards in the suit. As you go, my partner's got 2, there's 3 in dummy, I've got 5, so that's 8, 10, the declarer has 3. Now you go, well, in this particular, now, and this is in a no trump contract. This is very important. In a no trump contract, you go, well, okay, I need to be able to get back in the lead in order to run the suit, or I need for my partner to be able to lead it to me again. This is if you have no outside entry. If you have an entry, let's say an ace in another suit, this is really not a factor because you're pretty well guaranteed to be able to get back in the lead. Okay, but if you have no other entry, you're fighting to be able you're hoping for the situation where your partner can lead that suit to you again. Okay, so because you have no outside entry, what you want to do in this first trick is to play the 10. Okay, that way the declarer will be forced to play the queen. They did something silly, like not playing the queen. You're not smart enough to be able to add the 13. You're going to win the trick with 10, take the ace king, drop their queen, and take the first 5 tricks. So they're going to take the first trick with the queen. You're playing your highest, lowest equal. In this case, it's going to be the 10 because you know the declarer has the queen. They're going to take the trick with the queen. Now, you're going to hope that your partner can get in the lead again. They'll lead the 2, and you'll be able to take 4 tricks in that suit. Let's look at the situation if this were a suit contract. And it also applies to a suit contract when you want to give your partner a rough, like we talked about a couple of minutes ago. Okay, and it applies even when you've got 2 missing honors. So what you're going to do on this first trick is you're going to play the 9. It's going to force out the the king or queen. You concluded your partner has 2, the dummy has 3, you got 5, ergo, the declarer has 3. They have the king queen. The king queen are going to take 2 tricks if you take the ace on the first trick. Okay, because then you lead the suit back. They take the king or the queen. Your partner plays their second card. They lead out the trump. Okay, and now they play the king and take 2 tricks within that suit. If you play the 9 to begin with, okay, they're going to have to play the king or queen. Okay, and now they can't lead that suit again unless they can immediately draw all the trump. And you're hoping they can't. So if they can't and your partner gets back in the lead, they can lead the 2 and come to the ace, and you can lead the 3rd time, drawing out the king or queen, whichever is left, and your partner can trump it. Or vice versa, if you get in the lead, you can do the same thing. So these are all actions that set up the potential for you to be able to create tricks for you, keep the declare from getting tricks that they don't deserve, or setting up roughs. All right, so let's go ahead now and go to Shark Bridge and discuss the Shark Bridge hands. All right, so here we go. So we're over on Shark Bridge. All right, let's take a look at this first hand. Okay, let's make the screen size a little bit bigger. Okay, so we can see the screen now. And the West over here opened 1 no trump, East went 2 no trump, and West went 3 no trump. So let's take a look at both of our partner's hand and our hand. All right, and our partner is going to have to make the opening lead. And the partner has, they want 1 no trump, 2 no trump, 3 no trump. So they've denied the major. Okay, and we know that the no trump opener, West, probably could have up to 4 cards in each major, but the East probably only has a maximum of 3 cards in a major, because otherwise they would have initiated statement. All right, so we look at the hands and say, okay, we've got 4 spades and 2 hearts. Which one should we lead? Okay, what we're going to deduce from this is that because the West could have 4 hearts, East could have 3 hearts, that's 7, that's 9, that South could have 4 or more hearts. Okay, because it could be 2, it could be 2, 2, 2. I could actually have up to 7 hearts, because both West and East could possibly have only 2. Probability is that they can have each one of them has 3, but that would in essence say that I have 5 hearts. So our partner is going to lead with 7 hearts. All right, now, and the declarer goes ahead and plays the 3 from dummy. Now we have to decide what we want to play. All right, now we have a possible entry in diamonds. We have a possible entry in spades. Okay, now what we're hoping, and we can conclude if this is a doubleton, okay, because they did not support us, we're going to conclude they have only 2, that we could go, that was 5, 3, 2, that's 10, the declarer has 3, and we can then, because they led to 7, we know that's the highest, that the declarer has the queen protected twice, probably has the queen jack. All right, so what we want to do is maximize our opportunity to take tricks in this particular suit. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to duck on the first heart. Okay, yeah, we're going to give them a really cheap trick. Okay, but and if we want to be absolutely correct, what we want to do is we want to play the 9. Okay, and we want to play the 9 because we can see the 10-4 left in the dummy. We have the ace king. There's no possibility they're going to be able to take a trick in dummy with that 10 or that 4. Okay, now, again, the declare really doesn't have any choice. We know that they've got 3, and they've got the queen, probably have the queen jack, because we know our partner doesn't have it, because they had the queen of jack and they had 2, they would have led it. We don't see it in dummy, so they're going to have to take the trick. So they take the trick on trick 1. Now, the situation we have, let's look at all the hands, okay? The situation we have now is if we can get in the lead in spades or diamonds, or our partner can get into the lead in any one of the other suits, we can then lead the hearts and take 4 heart tricks. Okay, everybody see that? All right, now, so what we're doing is setting up the potential to take, we have set this suit up and it's set up the potential to take 4 tricks. It doesn't mean we're going to get 4 tricks. No. If we play this hand out, what happens is they're going to end up taking 5 club tricks. They're going to they figure and they end up taking 3 spade tricks. What they end up taking is a whole bunch of tricks, and we only end up getting the hearts at the end, a couple of the hearts. Okay, but if we could have gotten in with one of these other suits and then led hearts, we would have gotten at least 5 tricks setting the contract. But because of where the cards lay in the play of the hand, they're going to be able to make the contract. Let's go ahead and let the robot play this, and we'll see how this works. They take the clubs, okay, king of clubs. Then developing the club suit, they take the finesse, okay, and because the finesse works, they can now run the clubs. You see this? All right, now we have to decide what to throw away, okay, and we can throw the best discard at this particular point is the 3 of diamonds because we're still protecting the king. All right, now, unfortunately, they lead another club. Now we have to make a decision. Do we throw away a spade and unguard our queen, or do we throw away the hearts? So now we have to start throwing away our good hearts. We throw away that. Okay, and this evil declare leads to 10 of clubs again. Now we have to figure out what to do. Okay, and our partner had signaled some type of encouragement in diamonds, so we decide we're going to throw away the 10 of diamonds. Okay, so it's really signaling gets to be very important here, which we haven't discussed before, as it relates to who has what cards and what enables you to throw away the correct card. Okay, so we can see from there our partner has diamonds protected, and for whatever reason, he now leaves the heart. Okay, if he leaves the heart, he decides that he's going to end play me. And by end playing me, he knows he's giving me the heart tricks. All right, so I take my heart tricks. Okay, now I have to lead into the declare. You see, that's what's called an end play. Okay, I have to lead. I've got the queen and the 9. Okay, what he's going to do is I lead the 9. He's going to play the low. He's going to play the jack. I win the trick. So that's what an end play is. All right, let's go to the second hand and see how this particular hand works. All right, now in the second hand, the bidding has been by West 1 diamond. Partner goes 1 no trump, indicating the absence of the 4-card major, and 6 to 9 high card points. South passes. West bids 2 no trump, and the hand gets passed out. So, what do we know? Let's go ahead and display the hands. Our partner reviews the bidding and says, okay, they bid diamonds. I only have the queen. All right. But I do have 5 spades and 4 hearts. and 3 clubs. So he's got a value in clubs, and he's got values in spades. Now, his most powerful suit is spades. Okay, he concludes the best thing he can do, he can hope that I have the ace or the queen. And he concludes he's going to lead the 3 of spades. So he leads the 3 of spades, the 4th card in the suit. So we can actually say, okay, that 2 is missing. We look at our hand and at the dummy's hand. Okay, we've got the dummy's got the 4, we've got the 5, so we see the 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and we conclude that our partner has at least 4 and probably and potentially 5. So we go, partner's got at least 4, we've got 4, and the dummy has 3. That's 11. Okay, this is getting really risky because if our partner has 5, if we don't play the ace, we're going to lose the ace. So the declare plays low, and we say, well, we can play this insert the 9 and hedge our bets. But we don't want to hedge our bets if we can see 10 or 11 cards in the suit. What we're going to do is go ahead and play that ace. All right, and let's go ahead and see all the hands. Okay, now, as you can see, if we didn't play that ace, we played the 9, he would take the trick with that 10, a really cheap trick when we had the ace king. So he's actually going to play he then has to play the 10. Now, since we have taken the ace, the 10 has fallen, we can now go ahead and lead to our partner and hope that declare has a second spade. Now, what we're going to lead is the 9 of spades, encouraging our partner, pointing towards hearts. And we'll see this later when we get in the signal. Okay, but lo and behold, the declare is going to go ahead and roughs this. Okay, now, since we led this, the declare roughs it, it's no harm at all because our partner can now play low. And we see that while the dummy has the queen, that dummy cannot take a trick because the king is still in our partner's hand. All right, so we can play this hand out. What we've done is maximize the possibility for us taking tricks. We're preventing them from establishing a trick in spades. And we took our ace, making sure that we got it and we didn't go to bed with it. So let's look at hand 3. In this particular situation, our partner, North, does a weak 2 preempt in 2 diamonds. And East doubles. And East says, well, I really don't have a suit I want to bid. It's a takeout double to 2 level and says, go ahead, partner, I've got 12 plus points. Comes around. And now South decides to push the preempt by going to 3 diamonds. West then bids 3 hearts. By going to 3 hearts, West is saying, I've got invitational values for going to game, okay, and 5 plus spades. Okay, so if they had a longer suit and a solid suit, they could actually go straight to 4 spades. But by bidding over my 3 diamond, they're saying, hey partner, I've got 5 plus spades and at least 10 plus points. Okay, and then East, because they have a bit, a couple extra points, bids 4 spades. So let's see what happens. Let's look at the declares our partner's hand in our hand. Okay, now our partner has preempted in diamonds. We've got a nice weak 2. They've got 9 points. Okay, but when we look at the diamonds, we have a good power lead. We could lead the king, but what's that going to do for us? Not a whole bunch, because the odds are, given the bidding, that the opponents have the ace of diamonds. So by leading the diamonds, we may actually give them the opportunity to develop the suit to throw off a loser. Okay, so our partner goes, well, I've got the ace of spades, so I've got control of the trump suit, so I can actually afford to lead my singleton. So he says, I'm going to lead my singleton because he's not making a power lead in the suit that he preempted. He leads a card in another suit. We're going to assume that that's a singleton. Okay, now in this case, the declarer now plays the queen. Okay, and we now look at our hand in relationship to the dummies. We can see the king, the queen, the jack, the 10, the 9, the 8, and the 7. Okay, so we know that if we play the king at this particular point in time, that the declarer is going to take the king with the ace. And we're concluding that we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We know that the declarer has just 3 hearts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to duck, because what we want to do is preserve our king as a winning trick over these hearts. If we played the king, we may actually immediately set up 2 additional heart tricks, the jack or the 10. Okay, so what happens now is that we play low, and that tells our partner we want to give encouragement, and the declarer plays 5. Okay, well, let me continue this suit because I'm going to take my tricks. And it leaves the jack, we again play low. And our partner plays the 5 of diamonds, saying they have something in diamonds. Okay, now the declarer goes, all right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lead the 8. And now, because we've been paying attention, we know that we can see the 10. We know that there's only 1 card left in that particular suit. We play the 9, we drive out the ace. Now, normally, the declarer is not going to lead that suit, because what the declarer wants to do is make sure that if they lead that suit, they know that they're setting up 2 tricks for for me, the defender in South, because I still have the outstanding hearts. They know that if I can that I can actually not lead, that I can actually that there's no value for them to lead hearts again at this particular point in time, because they have control of the suit. They've gotten all the tricks they deserve in that particular suit. So what they're going to do now is shift to develop their longest suit. Actually, what they're going to do is they're going to go out there and get the trump. What I need to do, I forgot, I thought I was playing no trump. We're going to go back to this, and our partner leads to 2. We're going to play low, okay, and what the declarer is going to do is come out and get the trump. He's going to lead the trump. We're going to play the 9. The declarer goes up with the king. Our partner takes ace, and what they're trying to do is find a suit back to us, and they lead the club. And they come back with the club, they play the queen, we take the ace, and lo and behold, what we're going to do now is we're going to lead low, because our partner has indicated that they have a singleton. We lead the 4, and they say, well, okay, I was paying attention to, I don't have to, but I don't want to have to play that ace. Okay, and now lo and behold, our partner rushes in. So you can see how that works, where we can actually get that rough. Now, whether we set the hand or not is immaterial, but our partner now is going to lead the king of diamonds to try to set up the diamond. And unfortunately, the dummy only has 1 diamond, and it's only going to have value if we can get rid of all the trump out of the declared dummy's hand, which we're not going to be able to do. Okay, but we in essence got 3 tricks If we didn't play the hand in that particular manner, we've only gotten 2 tricks and gotten a very bad score if we're playing deep. Okay, let's look at hand number 4. Okay, here we have a pretty straightforward auction. West opens 1 heart. East does a limit raise of jumping to 3 hearts and says, hey, you've got 3 hearts and 10 plus points. And West gladly goes to 4 hearts. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at both hands again so we can see the considerations of our partner. Okay, our partner has to make the decision about the opening lead. Okay, it's been 1 heart, 2 hearts. Okay, and our partner goes, well, I don't want to lead away from the king, 6 of spades, and I don't want to lead my ace of diamonds because that's supposed to take kings and queens. Not, and if I lead the ace, it's just going to gather air. And I've got 5 clubs, so I could lead clubs, but I'm not really too happy about that. I'd rather be able to use those clubs in helping my partner promote a trick. So the real decision now becomes, do they want to lead clubs or do they want to lead hearts? Okay, and our partner concludes that the best thing to lead is trumps, because saying they've confidently bid 4 hearts. So the probability that I have something in hearts goes down. And if I've got something that's going to take a trick in heart, even if he leads hearts, I'm still going to get that trick because what if I lead hearts, finessing my partner. The declare can also lead hearts for the dummy, finessing my partner. So the partner decides he's going to lead hearts. Okay, and in this particular case, he says, well, I've got something in clubs and I've got something in diamonds. I actually prefer the diamonds, so I'm going to lead the 4 of hearts. And remember, the card you lead, if you're leading trump, is a suit preference signal. So the 4 would point towards clubs and diamonds. It's up to us as South to try to figure out which one it is. All right, so it's pretty, and we look at our hand and it's pretty hard to figure that out. So that the cards that get played, okay, the 4 gets played, the 5 gets played from dummy. Our natural inclination is to go ahead and play the jack. However, we go, okay, let me come back and review that. Okay, I've got a doubleton club. The dummy has a doubleton club. They've got the king 8 and I've got the 7-2. So that means that the declare has 4 clubs, 4 or more clubs. And we go, okay, that actually helps in 2 ways. Well, 1, we want to protect against the declare roughing a 3rd club, so we don't want to play our jack. It also tells us that since the declare has a bunch of clubs, and we can see the king of clubs, that the suit that our partner really wants led back is diamonds. Okay, so we get a lot of information by the card that's led, what we see in dummy, and what we can infer and conclude about the overall hand. So to make sure that they can't rough, the dummy can't rough a 3rd round of clubs, we play low. Okay, and in this case, the declare goes, well, let's see all the hands. Okay, the declare, because they're in 4 hearts, says, well, what we want to do is we want to get all the hearts up. Okay, they go, well, we could lead hearts to draw trump. There's 4 out, so there's 8, 9, 10. Hopefully they split 3-2. That says he's got 4 more heart tricks. He's got 1. That would give him 5 tricks. He's got 3 tricks off the top. He says, well, I could actually get a 4th club trick if I can trump the 3rd round of clubs. And says, well, that's what I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so he says, let's go ahead and lead trumps 1 more time. So he leads trump one more time. And we play our 3 and says, okay, now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try and develop those clubs. Okay, he comes over here, he takes the king, he comes back, leaves that, comes back, takes the queen. Okay, and says, okay, what I can do now is I can hope the clubs are 3-3, that there's actually that, or the clubs that both north and south have clubs, another club. He said, well, I'm going to lead the 5 of clubs and rough it. So he leaves that and he plays the 8. Now we can overruff with that queen, all right? Because he said he needed he wanted to be able to try to get rid of a spade or whatever. So now what we can do is go ahead and lead our diamonds. Our partner takes the ace. Because we led low, it implies we have the king. Okay, they come back. And we lead another diamond, and he's going to rough. Okay, now, if the declarer did this, try to do this, which is really not the right line of play, okay, we're going to actually end up taking 4 tricks, setting the contract. All right, so we can see how saving that jack of hearts gave us the capability of over roughing the dummy. All right, let's go to hand number 5 and look at it. Okay, in this one, our East opened 1 diamond, and we did a simple overcall of a heart. So we got 4, 7, 8. Great overcall, 1 heart. Okay, and the West bids a spade, and our partner passes. Our partner passed our 1 heart overcall. So if they had 3 hearts and 6 to 9 points, 6 plus points, they would have said 2 hearts. So we can either conclude they don't have 3 hearts, or they've got a really, really crappy hand. Okay, less than 5 or fewer points, but having 3 hearts. So typically, yeah, that's about 80% of the time is going to be that they don't have 3 hearts. Okay, and it goes 2 spades and the hand gets passed out. So let's take a look at our declarer's hand, our partner's hand, and they're going to be making the opening lead. Okay, and we can see in this particular situation that the contract is 2 spades. We bid a heart, okay, and our partner did not respond. All right, so our partner looks at the hand and says, well, I've got the queen of diamonds, the ace of clubs, and so forth. I don't want to lead any of those suits. I want to lead the suit what my partner bid. Okay, so he's going to lead the 9 of hearts. Okay, and we go, well, that could be a coded 9 or 10. We look at our hands, well, we've got the 10. It can't be a coded 9 or 10. So this is a singleton or a void. A singleton or a doubleton. A 9 represents a singleton or a doubleton. Okay, we look at the hand and we can go, well, this is a doubleton. We can see 3 cards in the dummy. That's 5, and we've got 5. That's 10. That means the declarer has 3. Okay, see how easy it is to determine the number of cards that's in the declarer's hand if you use the correct logic. So the declarer plays the king. Okay, and we go, well, do we want to play the ace? If we play the ace, we set up the queen, but we know the declarer's got 3 and say, well, we have time. We don't have to take this ace right away. So what we're going to do is play the 4 of hearts. Okay, this is actually positive encouragement to our partner, saying we've got something good in that suit. And the declarer plays the 2. Now, the declarer sets out and says, I'm going to try to get my trump off the street. And he says, well, I'd like to be able to preserve an entries in the dummy, in the declarer's hand rather than the dummy. So he chooses to lead the king of spades. We play the the 2. They plays the 3, and lo and behold, our partner jumps up with the ace. Says, "Oh, great!" And our partner now completes the second part of the trump suit echo of the high-low, not trump suit echo, the high-low echo. And we can see the queen 3 within the dummy. All right, and we're going to assume that they play the 3. Now we've got our highest, our lowest highest equal in this case is the 10. We play the 10. Okay, what that tells our partner is that we've got the jack ace when that wins the trick. Okay, and what we're going to do now is play the ace. We're taking the third trick. Our partner is going to give us a positive signal saying, "Hey, I'm playing an odd card." We'll get into added suit preferences in a couple weeks. Okay, and that they like clubs, and we win that trick. Now we know there's no value to lead this card again. We could lead hearts again. If we had, let's say, the queen 6 of trump, we might lead hearts again and hope our partner can give us an uppercut. An uppercut is they play the 9 or something, a higher trump, and force out an honor, so we actually win a trick. But since we don't have anything to benefit from an uppercut, we're not going to lead the hearts again to give the opponents a rough and a slot. And our partner did give us a positive signal in relationship to clubs. So what we're going to do is lead the 2 of clubs, telling them we have the king. Leading low actually implies that we have the king in this particular situation. And that's another lesson a couple weeks down the path. Okay, so they take the ace, they return another club. We take the king, and now we have a choice of what we're going to lead. Okay, we still want to go on an attacking lead. We want to tell our partner that we've got the jack of diamonds. So we play the jack of diamonds, and the declarer comes around, and he has to now decide whether to take the jack of diamonds in his hand or in the dummy. So he has to guess, just where is he going to place the queen? Now, if I had the queen jack of diamonds in this situation, I probably would have played the jack again just to confuse him. Okay, so let's assume that he says, okay, I can finesse the diamonds either way, and I'm going to take the king. So he takes the king of diamonds in the dummy's hand, okay, rather than in his hand. Okay, he made the incorrect decision, gave him the opportunity to make a mistake. Okay, in this particular situation, now he says, well, I've got to get the rest of the trump out. Okay, he says, well, I'll take this. And let's just say that he says, I need to end up back here. So he's going to take the spade, hoping that they break. And lo and behold, now he knows they split. And he comes back and collects the last trump. Okay, and we throw away the hearts because we know those are worthless. Now he says, I'm going to take the finesse in diamonds, because that's the way he decided he was going to take it. Now, so he leaves the 8 and goes to 9, and lo and behold, he loses finesse, okay, and goes down 1 trick. Now, so he had to make the decision which way he was going to take the finesse, and made the wrong decision. Now, he could have just, a really good player would make the correct decision, but we gave him the opportunity to make an error, and he did. So that's another real key aspect of defense, is giving the declarer the opportunity to make a mistake. All right, let's look at hand number 6. This is an interesting hand. All right, so they open 1 club. West opens 1 club. Now, remember, when you open a diamond, it could be short. It could be as short as 3. Okay, and East goes 1 diamond, and then West goes 2 no trump. And what he's showing is 18, 19 points in a balanced hand. Yeah, it gets passed out. Let's look at our partner's hand. Okay, we're going to get rid of East and West. Okay, and we've got to make a decision now on what suit to lead. Okay, so we've got the ace of spades. Remember, we're in no trump. So we've got 4 hearts and 3 spades. So this really becomes a pretty easy conclusion, okay? Because we can lead hearts, we can lead spades. Okay, now, one of the things you might want to consider is that when a person bids 1 club and then jumps to 2 no trump, they're really not saying they've got clubs. They could just as probable they have 4 hearts or 4 spades. Okay, and sometimes it's best to preserve your cards. In this case, they know that they've got 25. That West has the majority of the points. So this is a situation where you might actually want to make the decision to make a passive lead. Okay, and a passive lead in this case would be to lead the suit where you don't have much in it, and that would be clubs. So we're going to make the decision here to lead the 6 of clubs. Okay, and we lead the 6 of clubs, all right? And the dummy comes down, we see that they've got all of these diamonds, okay? And go, well, they're going to try to set up the diamond suit and run that diamond suit. Okay, and then we look at the dummies holding 2 clubs, and they've got the queen, jack, 10. And we go, I've got the king. Okay, if my partner has the king of diamonds and has it protected once or twice, we might be able to prevent the declare from being able to set up and run those diamonds. Okay, so at trick 1, the declare plays the 10 from the dummy. Now, under normal circumstances, we probably would go ahead and play the king. But even then, we go, well, we really don't like that. We want to inhibit the communication with the dummy. And we say, if we play the king, we know the declare's got the ace. Okay, so we're going to set up those 2 tricks. So just to be difficult, what we're going to say is we're going to try to inhibit the communication from the declare to the dummy. We play the 5. Okay, and the declare goes, well, let's go ahead and continue that line. Hopefully, we can drive out that the king will fall on the 2nd trick, and I can set up my communication. And lo and behold, we play the 9, and we can see that's 8 of them that have been played. There's 1 here. That's 9, 10. We know that the declare has probably 1 or 2 more. Our partner could have led the 6 from 5 or from 4 or from 3. Okay, now it says, okay, let's go ahead and we'll try this one more time. Drives out the king. All right. So now the declarer goes, wants to develop the diamond suit. Okay, we're going to see this. And lo and behold, the declarer's got 2 diamonds. Okay, so what's the declarer going to do? Well, I mean, the only way that we can potentially set up these diamonds is to play the ace and hope the king falls. And he goes, well, there's 2, 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there's a possibility. Actually, there's a 6% probability that the king would fall if they play the ace. So they go ahead and they play the ace of diamonds. And unfortunately, it doesn't work. Okay. Now the declarer is really screwed. Okay, because he can't set up those diamonds. So he's going to have to play the rest of the hand, from the rest of the tricks from his hand. And because we inhibited the ability for him to communicate to the dummy and set up those diamonds, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to turn on the robot and let it go. And our partner takes this the diamond trick. He takes that 3 of clubs. We know that these diamonds aren't even good, so we throw away our diamond. Play our lowest equal. We take the king, ace. Lee takes the ace of hearts, hoping something drops. Nothing drops. Oh dear. Okay, now he goes, all right, I'm going to lead this heart. Okay, and what we want to do is we actually want to duck this. No, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this. And what we're going to do is we're going to lead the 10 of spades. Okay, now the declarer has to make a decision as to what he's going to do. And you saw when we led that 10 of spades, the declarer had to make the decision whether to play the jack or the king. Okay, he made the incorrect decision of playing the jack. So what happens is we actually end up setting the contract because we destroyed the communication with the dummy by making sure that he did not have entry in clubs. So that's really, really a critical thing. Does that always work? No, but we're in essence setting ourselves up for the potential that this might occur. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of Shark Bridge, and we'll go back to the our Zoom lesson. And thank you very much for attending the lesson, and have a great day.